Jayden Daniels is a true freshman making his first start. What did you see from him?
He's just so calm for a 19-year-old dude, and love that dude.
Who's your dream teammate? Brandon Aiyuk.
Brandon Aiyuk?
Brandon Aiyuk.
Brandon Aiyuk, okay, Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah. That'd be tough.
They said they don't want me back.
Wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk is claiming the San Francisco 49ers are done with him. The star wide receiver was venting on TikTok, talking to his former college quarterback, now Washington Commanders quarterback, Jayden Daniels.
But a downfield shot to Aiyuk, a foot race, they won't get him. Wow.
There have been so many clues and hints over the past few months that indicate that Brandon Aiyuk will reunite with Jayden Daniels and join the Washington Commanders. I mean, damn, the current Commanders general manager even asked the 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan for tips on Jayden Daniels if he should draft him in the first place. Let's break down the Brandon Aiyuk fallout with the San Francisco 49ers and take a look at what we can expect from both of these teams. So Brandon Aiyuk is a star wide receiver on the San Francisco 49ers. He was just in the Super Bowl. But in 2020, he was a senior for the Arizona State Sun Devils, playing with quarterback Jayden Daniels, who eventually transferred to LSU and then was drafted at pick number 2 by the Washington Commanders. But as of late, Brandon Aiyuk has been beefing with the 49ers. He recently said on the Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco that he needs to get paid what he's worth.
I'm trying to get what I deserve. I feel like this season playing football, I figured out who I was as a person, as a player.
Aiyuk is currently playing on his 5th-year option. The 49ers can tag him next year and pay him significantly less than what he would be worth on the open market. Unless you're living under a rock, you likely know that wide receivers are getting paid a crap ton of money lately. Davante Adams, who was recently the highest paid wide receiver in 2022, is now the 6th highest paid wide receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Detroit Lions getting $30 million a year. Jalen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins getting $28 million a year. Brandon Aiyuk is looking at his $14 million contract for 2024, and he's thinking, damn, I'm better than some of these guys. Why aren't I getting paid that money? Kyle Shanahan, he's not the bubbliest guy, and early on in Brandon Aiyuk's career, the guy was tough on him, saying he needs a lot of work.
If he must be out there every single play, he's got to be a lot better than the guy behind him.
Plus, the San Francisco 49ers just recently extended Christian McCaffrey to a fat contract. They're already paying Deebo Samuel, more on that in a little bit, and they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy technically has 2 more years left on his contract, but I don't think this guy, who was just in the Super Bowl last year, is going to be down to make less than $1 million a year. Plus, you got QBs like Trevor Lawrence getting $55 million a year. Literally getting paid 55 times more than Brock Purdy. Let me know in the comments below, who would you rather have, Trevor Lawrence or Brock Purdy? So it's going to be hard for the Niners to keep all these pieces, and that is why they even considered trading away Deebo Samuel. Mike Silver reported that they were taking calls for Deebo and Brandon Aiyuk around the NFL draft, and this makes it pretty clear to me that they know they can't afford all these guys. One of them has to go. Kind of awkward for Deebo Samuel knowing that he was on the trade block, but he seemed cool with it.
Yeah, I heard it. Had a conversation with my agent about it. That was going back and forth with whoever it was, but it was a thing at first. But we done moved past it, so we're here to get better.
Obviously, Deebo can relax. He's already been paid, unlike Aiyuk, making roughly $23 million a year. And Aiyuk has an interesting PR team involving his girlfriend and brother. After the 49ers lost the Super Bowl, his girlfriend made a little TikTok saying that they're not going to be back at Levi Stadium the next year.
This might be our last day. Not our last. Okay, this might have been the last day we touched foot on Levi Stadium, me and Braylon. We might not be out here next season.
Kind of weird to have your girlfriend sparking trade rumors, but at least she had her dental hygiene taken care of, flossing them teeth. And then you had his brother on Instagram upset that Brandon Aiyuk did not get the football enough in the Super Bowl. Why does your all-pro 1,300-yard receiver have 3 catches in the Super Bowl? ? And obviously, Brandon Aiyuk loves the social media. We're going to get to more of that in a bit, but back after the Super Bowl, Brandon Aiyuk wrote, "Don't forget what got you there. I am emoji. So this shit has been going on since February, and it started heating back up in March as you had Brandon Aiyuk take to Instagram again, writing a little slogan, "Money talks, bullshit walks." Did this post by Aiyuk come out of nowhere? No, it was actually in response to San Francisco 49ers GM John Lynch making a statement about their contract negotiations. GM John Lynch said that they're actively talking with Brandon Aiyuk, and there's been no trade discussions. All those reports are not accurate. And then he said the team would be okay with Aiyuk playing on the 5th-year option. Yeah, Aiyuk playing on the $14 million a year 5th-year option. I'm sure the Niners would love that, and Aiyuk would hate that. I understand Aiyuk's frustration because in March you got the GM lying, basically trying to act like they're not shopping him. He's not on the trade block when we have these reports in the background proving that he at least was on the trade block, including Deebo Samuel. And we know players, unfortunately, have little power compared to these teams. And so Brandon Aiyuk has been exercising the little power he has by not showing up to mini camp at all. And by the way, according to Ian Rappaport, this guy is subject to fines. We'll see if the San Francisco 49ers waive those fines or make him lose even more money. But is there light at the end of the tunnel for Brandon Aiyuk? Is there some hope that he can get paid some fat cash and possibly leave the San Francisco 49ers and get more than 3 catches in the biggest game of the entire year? I think so. We showed you those clips at the beginning of the show, the relationship between Jayden Daniels, the Commanders quarterback, and Brandon Aiyuk from their time at Arizona State. Well, you had some other hints happening around the draft showing that Aiyuk could link up with Mr. Jayden Daniels. Malik Neighbors, LSU wide receiver who played with Daniels, was talking to his college quarterback and talked about him reuniting with an old homie.
And y'all never gonna believe it.
Wow.
You might be part of the old homie.
Wow. That's what you want to do? Okay.
He might be partners with his old homie.
At the time, as a delusional Raiders fan, I thought the old homie was Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce, who recruited both of these guys at Arizona State. But now with all this happening with Aiyuk, it seems like it's about this wide receiver connecting with his college quarterback. And why not? The general manager of the Washington Commanders was previously employed in the front office for multiple years with the San Francisco 49ers. And as we alluded to earlier, there were some bombshell draft reports about the Commanders GM, his relationship with the San Francisco 49ers, and how it's still active. The Commanders GM literally took advice from Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch on whether he should draft Jayden Daniels at pick number 2. So clearly these dudes are still pals, still have a cozy relationship. And look, I know the Commanders already have scary Terry McLaurin at wide receiver and Dotson, but when you got a quarterback like Jayden Daniels on that cheap rookie contract for at least 5 years, this allows you to have the cash and the cap space to afford somebody like Brandon Aiyuk on top of all these great playmakers. Yes, we heard that the Pittsburgh Steelers had been rumored to be pursuing a new wide receiver. Brandon Aiyuk even made a joke about him looking like Mike Tomlin, and hey, maybe they should link up because they look alike. But this new thing that happened today on June 17th, I think changes everything and proves that Aiyuk's intention is to go to a team like the Washington Commanders. I mean, he loves to FaceTime their quarterback.
Bro, what?
What happened, bro?
They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Oh my.
So the key thing Aiyuk says is they don't want me. Now, does that mean that they want to trade him away? Obviously, he's been shopped, and the 49ers did not get exactly what they wanted on the open market for Brandon Aiyuk. I think part of the reason why they're not getting what they want for Brandon Aiyuk is because the other team that trades for him knows they'll have to pay him on top of giving up draft picks. That's a lot. Aiyuk could be stretching the truth. Maybe the Niners not wanting him means they just don't want to pay him $30 million a year. And when you're the Niners with Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, do you really need a Brandon Aiyuk as your 4th option? The 26-year-old wide receiver has felt unwanted for a long time. He even stopped following the 49ers on Instagram so long ago. And the Niners have 2 options here. They could force this guy to play on the 5th-year option, then franchise tag him. Yes, that will be cheaper than a new contract, but the yearly cap hit is still going to be in the double million digits. And do you really want to force this guy to stay there there when he's unhappy, when he knows he's underpaid. It seems like the best route for the Niners is to get some draft capital for Brandon Aiyuk, save some cap space, and send him to a friend that you already have a relationship with, the general manager of the Commanders, Mr. Adam Peters. Could Aiyuk be playing hardball? Is he really going to hold out during training camp? We'll find out soon. Honestly, though, come back and check this video before training camp. I'm willing to lay it all out there and say I believe he will be traded by training camp. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Subscribe. Peace out. And I hope you have a good one.